Hello, this is the graduate research project for HBD 6776 E1 Leadership Theories and Practice at Amberton University, titled Utilization for Leadership Trait Approach in Project Management. My name is Kirsten Cormier. I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, a diverse, creative, and innovative community due to the University of Michigan being centrally located there. Our community has been built by passionate individuals such as students, doctors, artists, researchers, entrepreneurs, and most importantly, families. I work at a nonprofit that is housed underneath the Michigan Medicine or the health system side of the University of Michigan. My department is an impact organization that, lightly put, provides various modes of information such as publications, infographics, and evaluation studies to policymakers, health providers, and the public that revolve around public health, such as the Patient Protection Affordable Care Act of 2010, or what many call Obamacare, and deep dives in policies such as the work requirements for those to maintain their Medicaid status. I'm a project coordinator, so my main task is to make sure the projects and main programs are moving along within the constraints and completing the desired deliverables. I received my bachelor's from Eastern Michigan University in Health Administration, and this is my final semester at Amberton University, going through their MBA Project Management program. Here you'll see our content outline for the project. We will begin with the introduction, which leads us into our hypothesis. We'll go over a literature review and continue into the leadership trait approach, situation and context, briefly touch on project management and the leadership traits that are best identified for that branch. Then we will go through limitations of the studies, suggestions and methodologies that have been used, as well as influence of context and assumptions, so the students' recommendations based on the literature, and then for the personal perspective of the student with concluding remarks as well as references. Project management has been used successfully to complete various construction projects that are well known around the world, such as Pyramids of Giza, Taj Mahal, and the Panama Canal, to projects like developing the polio vaccine and putting the first human on the moon. However, while the project management community focuses on the tools and techniques needed to complete their deliverables, there is a growing shift to emphasize the traits that enable project managers to lead them and their team to success. The PMBOK 2017 defines leadership as guiding, motivating, and directing a group of followers. It has been accepted that certain traits show more leadership qualities than others, but as the situation morphs into another, there are other traits that are better suited. For a project manager to be able to combat the obstacles of leadership, they must be given the tools and training to do so. Which leads us to our hypothesis of leadership traits can change over time due to the impact of professional development and training to reflect the current situational environment within the project management setting. The leadership trait approach theory began as people believing that individuals were born as great leaders rather than developing the traits needed to become the great leader that they were known as. The leadership trait approach was a pioneer in the field of researching leadership. Early on, it was believed that great leaders were born with the desired and effective traits that became such great leaders. As the years progressed in the mid-1900s, it was suggested that a leader may not always be a leader when the context of the situation changes. In current times, leadership trait approach has again focused on the traits that greatly impact effective leadership. Major traits have been identified firstly as intellect, so strong skills in areas such as reasoning and problem solving. Self-confidence, healthy self-esteem reflects as a good leader to their followers. Determination, the leader is motivated, takes the initiative towards action, and is persistent. Integrity, where they show high moral standards and ethics, translates into being trustworthy for their followers. Sociability, ability to effectively network and create strong relations. This can segue into emotional intelligence as well, meaning that leaders practice empathy in their leadership activities to interact with their followers. The greatest strength for this approach is that there is ample research available. It also provides an in-depth look at how the leader, their traits, and the process of leading is interconnected, gives organizations, communities, and societies standards best used to identify leaders for their purposes. There are, however, criticisms. Although there is extensive research, researchers are still not able to create a definitive list of leadership traits that can vary to a great amount. Only the leader is taken into account, whereas leadership encompasses followers and context, as well as the leader, and as such, research does not focus on the impact for followers. Results are also subjective per study, and there has been thought that traits cannot be easily learned. However, Hudson and Farley in 2015 found suggestions that individuals can change their self-reported traits through a focus of will, which brings us to our professional development and training portion. Bladorn 2015 reported that multiple studies have been able to prove through research and analysis that traits are developmental constructs. This means that traits can indeed change over time, and what's more, traits can be directly impacted by the individual who carries them. Companies in the U.S. spend over $13 billion on trainings in leadership. Educational institutions offer courses for learning about leadership skills, such as Amberton University. Multiple development activities and trainings provide the foundation for the leader to build their skills over time. Play to your strengths by evolving the leadership traits you already carry. Build those traits into stronger spheres and then begin to explore where those spheres can overlap, creating new traits to add to your arsenal. It is not a good practice to acquire all traits that have been deemed leadership worthy, which will bring down your natural strengths and keep your weaknesses at the same level. It is impossible to incorporate all of the traits that have been designated as leadership quality traits. Furthermore, it is not consistent, which is key in the earning and keeping followers' trust and support. Structure of development and training. A combination of coaching, classroom instruction, multi-source feedback, and experiential training has a decided impact on individual leader performance and organizational effectiveness. What this means is that to see an impact in one's leadership skills through training and development, this combination for structure has been proven to be beneficial. The traits of the leader must be relevant to the situation at hand for the leader to properly function in that role. The context of situations can vary greatly. Bach 2018 cites that the main components are culture, goals, people, processes, and time. Context can be broken into two categories, omnibus and discrete. Omnibus are where features of the situation is comprised of, such as the 5 W's, who, what, where, when, and why. Discrete contexts are the specific features of the situation, such as the tasks and social aspects within the situation. The leader should be aware of when to use certain traits based on the situation contextual elements. By exhibiting the behaviors considered right in the appropriate situation, followers are able to identify that person as a competent leader. All for one and one for all? Not necessarily. Parr, Lanza, and Berthnell 2016 conducted a study where they determined that there is not a perfect blend of leadership traits that create a great leader. Rather, a leader practicing different traits in different situations proved to produce a more effective leadership impact and higher performance levels. Also, higher levels of motivation and their specific personality style proved to be effective additions, even if the individual was not categorized as one with strong leadership traits. The Project Management Body of Knowledge 2017 defines project management as the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet the project requirements. But what are these generalized terms? Knowledge refers to the education and experience the individual earns throughout their career. Applying skills means that the individual has gained some type of competence or expertise over a specific area, such as project planning or cost management. Tools and techniques are how the individual will complete their work, such as brainstorming, data analysis, and risk categorization. All of these general terms come together to create project management. It is simple for one to know the procedures and processes, but it is imperative that these are applied correctly and appropriately to deliver a successful project, all while striving to operate within the scope, schedule, and budget, otherwise known as a project's constraints, and also by ensuring quality. Project managers are never without a team, and therefore are never without followers. For a project manager to deliver a successful project to completion, they must appropriately lead their followers towards such success. A project manager may be able to apply the tools and techniques taught from the Project Management Body of Knowledge 2017, such as risk analysis and scope definition, but to accurately apply the correct leadership traits to the correct situation requires more than reading and a mathematical equation. The study Leadership Styles of Effective Project Managers, Techniques and Traits to Lead High-Performance Teams 2015 reported a strong impact on successful project performance from leadership traits such as confidence, inspiration, trustworthiness, and interpersonal skill. However, such traits were dependent on multiple factors, such as the size of the project, the size of the team, the level of complexity, and the resources that were available. Similarly, Kumar, Adish, and Diauki 2014 reported that inspirational, credibility, competency, honesty, and innovation were also prime traits to have for a project manager. This research was not without its limitations. Lydorn 2015 pleads towards fellow researchers that more research on personality and trait development needs to be applied in non-Western countries, and that a deep dive into further factors, such as biological impacts. Boerma et al. 2017 reports that further research is needed to further refine their findings. Dubois, Hanlon, Koch, Nitugia, and Kerr 2015 reported that the study was limited in the amount of resources available to them within date restrictions. Hudson and Farley 2015 advocates that a longer study would be highly beneficial, and further research is needed if the results from individuals can be proven at a group level. Kumar, Adish, Diauki 2014 reported different limitations in that there is a vast amount of information on leadership that is available, but none are able to deliver a concrete list of leadership traits. Ock 2018 stated that research is lacking on areas of followers in regards to their behaviors, skills, and activities, and how those aspects in turn impact leadership effectiveness. Parr and Lanza Berthal 2016 suggests that results of their study are conservative based on lower than optimal reliabilities on performance factors they needed to measure. Seidel, Fernandez, and Perry 2016 cite lack of research of frameworks and models on the process of developing leadership traits and skills. All research studies advocated for further research in their own areas, as well as expansions towards areas that were touched upon within their research. Leadership traits can be changed over time through multiple avenues: maturity over time throughout adulthood, specialized trainings, and organizational development practices. Most commonly agreed upon leadership traits are inspirational, integrity, and initiative. This research student utilized recent, as in no later published than 2014, peer-reviewed materials using databases such as EBSCO collection, Amberton's electronic book collection, Google Scholar search engine. These peer-reviewed materials used interviews, surveys, questionnaires, previous studies and their findings that were related to their topic, and finally, qualitative and quantitative meta-analysis. Recommendations based on the literature are as follows. Invest in traits such as initiative, confidence, integrity, inspirational, and emotional intelligence. The individual should focus their drive in developing these traits to better improve their project management skills that can be applied across a variety of situations. Consistency. The individual should be consistently working on their traits that better support their endeavors. They should practice these traits within the professional environment as well as their personal areas for continuity. Review the situation. It is imperative that the project manager actively read the situation that come to them that require leadership. The project manager should be able to determine how the situation should best be handled and apply the appropriate leadership traits to deliver. The project manager should also keep a continual view on the situation, as the situation is liable to change and may need a new approach. Promote organization-led trainings and developments, such as lean methods, should be organization-specific, even as detailed as the department or team-specific if possible. It would also be beneficial to expand on research and go through more specifics. So what are the implications for this research? Effective leadership has proven to be an instrumental tool in leading a project to success. However, a leader must be able to adapt to different situations and use different leadership traits to ensure their success. The current workforce must use all tools available in their quest to create and deliver a quality service. Conscious choice. By consciously choosing to portray and apply the traits of leadership that have been best selected for project management, these project managers will be able to instill the confidence and trust of their stakeholders, followers, and other leaders. They will be contributing to the success of a project by leading their team to reach their goals and objectives. Training and development. By training and developing these traits, effectively changing the individual's traits to be able to select which trait should be applied in project management setting, not only does the leader benefit, but the followers, organization, community, and their society. The University of Michigan. This research students organization provides various trainings, activities, and assessments to help their employees learn and develop, but also to identify potential leaders in their workforce. This research students department actively encourages their staff to partake in these activities in order to change, improve, or exploit their leadership traits. In doing so, this practice elevates the standards of production and performance, creating a positive ripple impact across the department, organization, community, and society. Conclusion. From this research, it can be concluded that leadership traits can indeed be developed through trainings and professional development programs, and from these trainings, a project manager is able to apply the different traits that can be applied to different situations they encounter throughout their career. It should be noted that there are some traits that can be difficult to learn, such as learning to be an extrovert when your natural inclination is to behave as an introvert. However, some traits are better suited to certain situations than others, including such an example as applying introversion to a situation rather than extroversion. In general, the research agrees that traits that a project manager should seek to develop, adapt, or expand on through specific trainings are initiative, competence, integrity, inspirational, and emotional intelligence. As we discussed previously, managers can use information from the trait approach to assess where they stand in their organization and what they need to do to strengthen their position. Trait information can suggest areas such as where their personal characteristics are very beneficial to their company and areas in which they may want to get more training to enhance their overall approach. Using trait information, managers can develop a deeper understanding of who they are and how they affect others in their organization. Through continual training and development, the student will be able to focus on the skills needed to advance their career in project management by applying the appropriate traits within the appropriate situation. By cultivating traits such as being inspirational and showing initiative, this research student will be able to deliver successful projects and demonstrate to their organization, community, and society that they are an effective leader. Here is a brief look at the references used during this research study. I would like to take a moment to thank Dr. Sanchez for a great semester and for always being accessible whenever questions arose. Also, thank you to my classmates for the thought-provoking discussions and for reviewing my project. If you're graduating like I am, congratulations. You still have a few semesters to go. Keep going, you're almost there. I hope everyone has a great rest of your summer.